What's up, guys? So this video may or may not be a little bit longer, but I highly recommend that you all watch this video and share it, because what happened to me can easily happen to you, and who knows, maybe it already has and you're not even aware of it. As one of my posts that I posted, where I mentioned that I was almost carjacked. That actually happened a few days ago, when I was going to a high crime area, and I'm in a little town, which is about an hour from here, off a highway. And to make this part kind of short, I was going there to go shopping. And when I was on the open highway, this person in a nice classy car, a Mercedes, was going real slow, going like 45, 50 miles an hour in a 55 zone, which it's not uncommon for people to do 60, 63. So I passed this person safely, no harm done. Wasn't even another car you could see as far as my eyes could see, nothing. Perfectly legal the way I did it. And for some reason, I'm so used to watching my surroundings, even at stoplights now. Counting cars, remembering the color, remembering if anyone's following me. The highway was pretty busy that day, and for some reason, after I passed that vehicle, I had the weirdest feeling, and I swear I was looking in all my mirrors as I was driving, and I could see his vehicle following me from a distance. I can't tell you how far, maybe about 200, 250 feet maybe. I really wasn't at the time thinking much of it. Now, once I got into this town, that's terrible for carjackings and shootings, literal shootings, murders. My first instinct came to mind as I approached, it was a green light, and it turned yellow or orange. However, some people refer to it as orange or yellow. You get my point. When it hit orange, I kind of slowed up, and then I gunned it to go through the orange light before it turned red. Now, as I'm good at multitasking, so as I was doing that safely, I looked in the corner and I seen red light, and as soon as I turned, I looked in my rearview mirror, and guess what, you guys? That Mercedes I passed, that SUV, it blew the red light behind me. That was my first red flag right there. I thought to myself, okay, for some reason, this person is following me. Now, the golden rule when that happens, generally, if you talk to professionals, that know a lot about carjackings or even abductions from your vehicle. I'm going to get into a bunch of that later on in other videos, but sticking to this topic, they always told me, if you think you're being followed, speed up a little. You know, if the speed limit is 55, you normally do 58, 60, hit 65, 70. Don't worry about a ticket. A ticket's better to explain and pay off than something happening. Well, at this point, I'm in town. There's schools, people jogging, going out on the road. I didn't really want to do that. It just wasn't safe. So instead, what I started to do is I would slow down, because there's train tracks and they're horrible. So I would slow down and then I would gun it. You know, I go from like 10 miles an hour up to like 35 fast. And that Mercedes stayed behind me. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just paranoid, you know? And then as I started slowing up a little, I looked in my rear view and I noticed this car is right on my ass again. So now I'm thinking there's definitely something up to this. So the golden rule, what I was taught by ex-law enforcement and retired military and other people, they always say the same thing, no matter who you talk to. They say, if you think you're being followed, do the 3 rule. In other words, make 3 right turns. If that vehicle keeps following you, you know you're in shit. Well, I did a right turn, which went down a side street, residential. And by this point, I've been long off the highway, major highway. So I made a right-hand turn, residential neighborhood right now. I seen a college. I'm not going to name the college. It was active. They were out there in the field doing whatever practice they were doing for some sports, as well as, open, doing their thing. And I made a right-hand turn in that college. Now, some of you are thinking that's a bad idea. Yes and no. Okay. In this situation, there's not ever a good reasoning or idea for a situation like this, especially if you don't know exactly what is going on. Now, the reason I turned in there is because I know, 1, if something happens, there's going to be a lot of witnesses. 2, there's going to be a lot of cameras around that campus. Since there's a lot of school shootings and mass shootings, there's got to be a lot of cameras to get every angle of that car and the person driving in it, as well as mine, of course. So I proceeded. I made my second right in there. Then I decided to make another right. And then I made another right into only student and faculty parking. This vehicle's following me every time, and at the very last second putting their blinker on. Now I know something's up. So then I make one more right till I come to exit that campus, come to a stop sign. I make a left, okay? This person honks at me. Keep in mind, this is the same vehicle that's been following me. It is a lady driving it, okay? She honks at me. Now, when she honked at me, she turned her flashers on, her caution lights in your vehicle as if you break down. So my instinct is, okay, maybe she's trying to get help for some reason. Maybe she wasn't following me, which I knew different, but I just figured, I'll pull over. I gave myself space from the stop sign there, from the entry point when I entered the college. But I play it smart. I never put my vehicle in park. I kept it in drive and kept my foot on the brake. My door stayed locked. Now, as she approached, I had my window only halfway down. I never opened the window all the way. Too hard for someone to try to grab you or grab your steering wheel. I'll get into that in some more videos. Now, as she came up, I had my burner. I always carry it on me. Now, I noticed as she got out of the car and started walking up to the car in front of me, two beat up SUVs came and they parked right there, kind of almost blocking the exit for me to exit. Now, this is where it gets to the point. Hopefully, you guys are still watching this video because this could happen to you. And if you're not prepared, it will happen. Eventually, it could. I hope not, but real life is not Hollywood, you guys. Now, when she came to the approaching my vehicle, and I seen those two cars, or I'm sorry, SUVs, beat up SUVs, blocking my exit, I knew, okay, something's up. Now, I got two choices. One, try to ram through those, which I got all-wheel drive. I can go through curb if I have to. But then I got those two guys I got to try to get away from, which I can do. But in a residential neighborhood with a lot of kids and elementary schools, and it was during a weekday, I didn't feel that was an option. Could I have? Yes. The reason I didn't, the risk was worse than the reward of getting away. That would have been my second option. So as this lady approached my window, as I said, I only rolled it halfway down for multiple reasons. And when I seen those cars, I knew something was up, like I mentioned. So when she approached the vehicle, I could see in my rearview mirror, I had my burner like this. Okay. Now, I had it like this, where kind of more low profile, because I don't want to hold it like this on campus with kids. They could freak out. If they see that, call 911. There's a huge mess going on. I don't want to be at gunpoint. So how I did it was I had against my chest, and I had this white t-shirt on, okay? And I rolled the window halfway down, and when she approached, as she was approaching, I said, "What's going on?" And as she walked up to that window, you guys, and she seen this like this, she immediately backed up, and those two cars that was blocking my exit, they spun out the opposite direction where she went. They were out of there. Now, there's going to be a lot of comments saying, well, you shouldn't have pulled the burner because they could have had a gun. Well, that could be true. But the whole point of this video is people are stealing vehicles, and if this could happen to me, it can happen to you guys or even your daughters at college. I'm going to get into a bunch of that stuff too, especially for you women out there. But regarding this situation, I was prepared either way. If they had a gun, I'll tell you right now, on my vehicle, my windows, they're bulletproof. There's a special tint you can buy. You tint from the inside, and it can hold up to 5 shots before that round will come through your window, and the windows still function rolling up and down. It's basically a clear tint. So all my windows are bulletproof. I got the tints on all of them, just in case for that scenario. So I really wasn't worried about a gun at that point, because I had my foot on the brake, and I could easily have hit the gas and just went through the yard or the grass at the campus if I had to. And also I got OnStar to hit SOS, and my GPS would have been straight to the police department if I had to. So I went with the option with the burner. One, for intimidation. It worked. It worked. I had my actual, this one here, the black EP on me. I don't know why. I just had an odd feeling I better bring this. Usually it's my orange one. And I'll tell you what, that was definitely an attempted carjacking. All I know is it could have went a lot more dangerously if I'd have spun out and got out of there, putting everyone driving at risk, and if there was kids out, and especially the college students. And you know what? The burner for me on this occasion saved me from a potential carjacking. Now, for those of you who have the burner, or I should say that don't have the burner and don't think that the burner is effective, well, I'll tell you what, you guys. If you're a criminal and your adrenaline is fucking pumping, and you see something black like this pointing at you from the side view, at first glance, you ain't fucking around. You're gonna think it's a gun, okay? Especially if you know your intention is potentially carjack, you're not gonna stick around. I'll tell you what, that girl and those two guys, they didn't stick around. And she was holding her phone in the hand. So my theory is possibly she had them on the phone and she wasn't talking to them, but she very likely had her phone on speakerphone so they could hear what we were saying. So, I contacted the police department down there and talked to them, and they said that's been happening a lot. They're using women for decoys to follow you because no one suspects a woman to do that. And they're using them as decoys to lure you, to get you to stop, try to get you to exit your vehicle. And that's when they run up on you. They either try to hold you or whatever that case may be. Another one jumps in your vehicle. Since most times, if it's an emergency, you don't think you take your key out the ignition and the key's in the car and they drive off and you're screwed. And I'll get into that in another video. But, the point is, you guys, lesson learned. Learn from what happened to me and be aware of your surroundings. If you're not aware of your surroundings, you very well could be screwed. You very well could be screwed. Careful who you pass on the open highway, because her first excuse was, you passed me illegally. I never passed you illegally. So, it was all a decoy to get me to step out the vehicle and bum rush is what it was. So hope you guys like, share, subscribe. This video is almost 20 minutes long. I had to get this out there. You guys, hopefully you watched it all. And for you, those of you who have watched it all, I hope that you like, share, subscribe, and let people know about this experience, because it's very real. It does not happen like in the movies. Real life is not Hollywood. Trust me, I know. So if you guys want to know where to get the bulletproof tint, email me direct. I don't want to put that on YouTube comments in case these actual criminals may be watching it and learning from some of these videos. Email me direct. It's in the description all the way at the bottom. It's encrypted. You ain't got to worry about your information. So until the next one, guys, stay safe and burn up your game.